Good morning, retail traders. We've had one heck of a bear attack, that's for sure. So we're going to go in here and we're going to talk about what happened this week, and we're going to see if we can find a support on the indices and maybe a couple other tickers. So let's go ahead and get right to it. I'm going to go ahead and take off this thing so I can see a little bit better. Put on the cowboy hat. That's my thinking hat when I get desperate. The SPX was a good trade yesterday. Scalped it most of the day, just in and out inside of patterns. We had like a triple bottom here. I scalped it up to the upside. And then we had a snake with a symmetrical flag, and it knifed on me. And then I caught it and run it back up to that resistance. Then I scalped it down here at the bottom. I also got in the trade on right here off this trend line. And it started going up on me, and then bam, she just tanked. So I had to add on. I waited, added on down here at the bottom, and I was able to get out of that trade with a little bit of profit. But also scalped the lottos right at the end of the day. Once we found the bottom down there, I recognized what we had, and then I took that trade and run it up into close. So that's the SPX. We're going to clean this up right now, and I'm going to show you where I think we are and where I think we're going to go. We're going to put this up on the daily time frame. First, we'll put it up on the weekly. I called this bottom right here, and then I called the inverse head and shoulders right up on top, the shoulder line of the inverse head and shoulders, which was a resistance level. Called that out in the room. I said, hey, let's start thinking about puts. So 3 weeks later, here we are. We're getting close to that 21, and that is my target for a reversal. Unless things get really shitty. If things get real shitty, then we can go down farther. But I want to hold that 21 SMA, and that's going to be right on the peak of this here candle. So that's what I'm looking for solid support. And we're going to draw a price line all the way across that, which is a trend line. And then we're going to draw another one right here on this tweezer top. And that's going to be our solid supports that I think that are going to hold. And that's going to be that first part of that first high, second, and then third. But if we keep this here support level at 21 SMA in this channel, I think it's going to be a little bit done with, over, and that'll keep the market bullish. If not, and we dip down below 42.7965, I think we could have a little bit more trouble, and I'd be going in the puts. Now, as we go on the SPX. Or SPY, we had the same incident. I called that resistance level at this price line. The other room, I said, we've hit a shoulder line of this head and shoulders on the weekly time frame, so let's think about puts. 3 weeks later, we're closing in on that 21, which is right down here on the support level that we need to hold. If that does not hold, it's to this next peak. So let's go ahead and put a price line on that one too. And that high is going to be right here. I'm going to magnify it up so I can get a real nice figure on it. Right there and right there. That's going to be the channel of support to hold, to keep this thing bullish, to go back up to the upside. If not, we'll come down and we'll hit that other peak. It's hard to stop momentum. I mean, this thing can drop down here to this 411 area or hit this 21. Now, as long as we hold the 9, we're still good. Okay? As long as we hold the 9, we're still good. But we're not no more because we broke the 9 last week, this week here. So let's pull this up to the daily now. See, we broke that 65 on the daily. So I do have a little bit of concern that we can pull back and hit this 431 area. Maybe find support off that double bottom. If not, it'll get back into that channel that we had on the weekly. So let's look at that weekly time frame one more. We need to hold this 21 right here, and that price line's right at 429.74. And we'll put that in there as a pivot point, and I'll make that red. So the next one we're going to talk about, so let's go over this one more time. Support level, the 21 is right there around that 430 area, and your first support, if we can hold it, is going to be the 431.71 with a low of 427.45. Now we can go ahead and get a flush out. We can go ahead and get a flush out right here, and those are alarms that are going off on my scanner. We can get a flush out today, and we could probably cover some of them shorts, but we're going to see what happens, because that's a pretty good dip. It's a pretty good dip from my call up here to the top. We've had 1, 2, almost 3 weeks of selling. So let's see if we can hold that 431.71 or hold the position we're in right now. If we look at the daily 1 minute, and we just now opened, we are dropping down just a little bit. We'll see if we can hold the support for today at 435.54. And that'll be a double bottom, and then run it back up a little bit. If not, if we break below that 435.54, we're going to hit those other numbers or come close. And the QQQ, we'll pull up the weekly time frame on this one too. I called this one out in the close, but I did not trade it. And we did hit my support right here. I have 357.34. We hit 357.43. So let's pull up this weekly time frame. Clean this chart up so I can see it. You gotta see it. Let's keep the same mark on this one. We're going to use that 21 as a solid support level on the weekly time frame. That's the 21 SMA. Now we did break a major support level right here, and the next one's all the way down here, and that's a pretty good gap down to the 51 EMA. So we need to try to hold this 349 area. If that does not hold, then it's a pretty good drop on down. And that's 3 weeks of selling right there on the QQQ. Now if I pull up the daily, we did break below that 21 on the daily. So that, it's not looking too good for this one right now. We just have to, I don't trade the QQQ that much, but we are at a double bottom right now, and we're going to see if that holds. That'll be a major support level right there, right at 357.49. If that drops, if that doesn't hold, I think we can come back down to this next channel of support, which is going to be right there, right around the 348 area. And then the IWM. So I'm bearish, definitely. We're almost to the 200 on the IWM. So I'd keep a good watch on this now. It's took a real good hit. It had a high up here of a double top on the yearly, triple top on the yearly. Was a good sell signal. 1, 2, 3. And that's on the yearly. So that was the perfect idea to get out of this trade. And I did call that out. Now what we're looking at now is bouncing off this 200. That's a real solid support. I mean, we bounced off the 200 here, we bounced off the 200 here, and we can do it again. So this is a triple bottom. I think we can bounce off the 200 SMA. So I'm going to put a price line right off that, and we're going to see if that holds. Right down 182.76 for a solid support. If that holds, I think you can run it back up to 184.53, and that'll be I think that's the 300 or maybe the 200 EMA. It's the 200 EMA, and I think you can take it up there. Definitely got some support, some resistance up in here. See that resistance channel all the way across? That's definitely a hard resistance. I would get out of that trade at 184.65 unless we go ahead and have a bull run. But let's see if we can hold that 200 SMA on the daily. And then Tesla, we're going to look at Tesla real fast because I trade Tesla every day. Called to pull back on Tesla here. Right now we're standing off the 51, what is this? That's the 300 SMA. That's the 300 SMA. I've got that in the wrong color, but I'll come back to that later. 300 SMA, so that could hold. That could hold. I got a 214.50 support level on it, and we're going to see where that comes from on the weekly. That's definitely a support level. It's a pivot point level. We got a triple top right here. I got a triple top off the 200 also. So we're getting down here to where we could probably scalp this thing to back to the upside a little bit. There's going to be a lot of bears attacking this stock. They're relentless. But I'm a bull every day when I come in here and I look at this trade. I did call the pullback. Now I'm starting to call maybe consolidation. We have consolidation and then we'll get confirmation. And that's it. Retail traders, I hope you have a great trading day today. It is Friday. So let's see if we can catch some of these squeezes. Bye-bye.